This is a Swan 350, a rig that comes from the era of the late 60s or early 70s. The 350 part means that it has 350 watts supposedly of input power. It uses two horizontal sweep tubes, which will not work very well on AM because it requires a high duty cycle, but on sideband it does work quite well. And it comes with a power supply. The power supply is solid state, which was novel in that era. And I'm going to show you how it works. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to peak up the receiver. To tune the transmitter, you have to peak up the receiver. Doesn't sound very logical, but they use the same circuits in both, and that's the way it works. So I'm going to tune for maximum noise, or if I happen to hear a signal, we'll look for that. So, okay, there's a little more noise there, and there's a little more. Let me see if I can find a signal to tune up on. Okay. All right, I'm going to tune off on that because I don't want to tune up on somebody. A lot of people do that, and I don't want to be one of those. Okay, we have the preliminary tuning now done, and now we're going to tune it up completely. I have it in the CW mode, tuning, and I'm going to key it up, and I have almost no power out. But I'm going to dip the final. That will help. There we go. And we got a few watts here, but not very much. I want to just double check the PA grid, and that's okay. But it's just a few watts, but we're going to increase the loading. And as you can see, the power has now gone up quite a bit. And we're going to redip the final. We're up to about 30 watts. And then increase the loading a little more. And now we're up to about 100 watts. And we're almost pinning the meter up here, so I'm going to use the SWR indicator as so I know how much power I've got. And I'm going to increase it a little more, and now we're pinned over here. All right, we're using this as a relative power indicator, and we're going to put that up. Well, I think we're about peaked up here.
But I'm okay loading the contacts in one at a time. I don't have a problem with that. So, is it possible that there are people just waiting for me to load in my contacts? Go ahead.
Yeah, I suppose it could be possible, although you wouldn't get an error. It would just take the contact, and then it just wouldn't do a confirmation on when you logged in. It would just have a QSO, but not a QSL on there. So you'd still see it. It should still accept it. So not quite sure why it's rejecting it. That's kind of odd. Over.
Okay, so part of it, so you don't know if it's the only way I'm going to find it. I'm sounding terrible here talking. Let me get my mind together. When I put in a contact, and if there is no...
Okay, K10 by K from W81GZY. Very good, Bert. And you guessed it. I'm actually operating the remote base, and this is going through a cell phone connection back to the base station. And I have a Kenwood TS990, and I have a 2-element step-IR on the rooftop, and I can rotate antennas, can actually operate 80 meters through 6 meters. Back to you, Bert, from WA1GZY, mobile in Jacksonville.
Okay, WA1GZY, mobile in Jacksonville, K10IK. Okay, well the audio isn't perfect, but you're going through about 40,000 different transitions there, so I can understand why. But now I understand why your signal is so strong, because it's really doing quite well. I'm using a Swan 350, about 150 watts or so, I'm guessing, and it's into a Tenadyne T6 antenna, log periodic antenna. as to how well you're copying me. WA1GZY, K1OIK, Cape Cod.
Alright, K1OIKW1GCY. Yeah, you're 5 and 9 plus, no problem. I can't see an S meter, but just by the audio coming in, Bert.
Okay, kilowatt 1, Oscar India kilowatt, G0 Delta Bravo Echo. Well, good to hear you. Thank you very much indeed for the call. My name is Lee, Lima Echo Echo. I had you down as Burton, and our last QSO, I believe, was in 1994, over.
Okay, G0 Delta Bravo Echo, K1OIK. My name is Bert, Bravo Uniform Romeo Tango, and I am in Sandwich, Massachusetts. And you got a very good 5.9 signal here on 15 meters. You're very strong. How's my signal in Liverpool? Go ahead.
You're 5.8 to 5.9 at the moment, Bert. Absolutely superb. Absolutely no issues at all. It sounds really good.
Okay, well that makes me feel good. Maybe I won't sell it if it sounds that good. My regular rig is a Flex 5000.